Right, good morning viewers. We are opting for a day in today and we're going to spend some time in Swakopmund. But before we start, we're going to just do a little bit of maintenance on the bikes. I need to balance a front wheel, which I'm going to use a couple of fishing sinkers for. Trev's bike, we're just going to clean the seals out a little bit. What I've done here is I've taken a little water bottle over here, and out of it I've just manufactured a small little piece of plastic here, just to put in the seals and clean all the sand out around them. We're going to just chuck them inside here. Once we remove that seal, the dust cover seal, we will just chuck this in there and clean out as much sand as possible, and that'll hopefully either slow down his leak or stop it completely. So let's get to it. Start by just taking off the little dust cover here. I'm just using one of my pocket knives for that. I don't feel like getting out a whole lot of tools. Have you got a cloth, maybe a rag? Yeah. Clean it up a little bit. I'm a little worried about the spoil on the brake lines as well. It's not too good for the rubbers. The dust cover is back in. Ready to rock on. Right, so my bike, what I've done, we just put it onto the center stand so that I could spin the wheel freely to see where's the heaviest point that falls to the bottom. My sinkers in the box are a bit too big to balance the wheel, so I've used the Kalahari stone and put it on with some quack tape. So let's see, this is what it looks like. Over there. Yep. So we'll let you know how that goes tomorrow. Here we are now leaving Walvis Bay. The ocean's looking quite nice and flat. Just want to stop in and have a look at that site. Look at those beautiful flamingos there. Don't know if you can see them well in the camera, but that is absolutely stunning. There's a whole flock of them there. It's rather a misty and foggy morning, but we've heard that it does start like that daily. It may stay like that the whole day, it may clear up. What a beautiful sight to see those pink flamingos there. Even the Kalahari Ferrari stopped to take a pic. Misty and cold morning. 11 degrees, but it's just very chilly. This is the bay of Walvis Bay here that we're looking at. Stunning bay. It's beautiful here. It was mentioned by some guys we bumped into that Swakopmund is far better than Walvis Bay. I beg to differ. I think it looks lovely here as well. Swakopmund is a lovely place when we drove through yesterday. We're going to explore that a bit more today. But I don't think Walvis Bay has disappointed us with its scenery. The Kalahari Ferrari rider has voiced his thankfulness for taking the day off today and just exploring, so that we don't have to have too many hours in the saddle today. I'm also going to be enjoying the break as well. And look at the ocean here. It's just absolutely magnificent. There's something about experiencing the open air and the scenery when you're on the motorcycle. You can't beat it. Walvis Bay Yacht Club. Here's a Kalahari Ferrari. He doesn't like the sand at all at this stage. He's been giving me horns all morning about the sand, staying away from it. This is the harbour here. You can see a lovely cruise liner there that's docked in. I find it fascinating that between the desert expanse and the residential area here on either side of the road, that there's no sand in the road. I've just seen a bulldozer a bit further back cutting a bit lower than the tar line and pushing the sand off to the side just to keep it away from the roads. But when the wind blows here, it must get covered in sand, surely. They must have some sort of way of cleaning it off here, brushes or something constantly, because the road's absolutely beautiful. Just seeing this vast expanse of the desert meeting up on the ocean shoreline here will now give me a thought to cherish until my end. Back in Swakopmund, we're going to find ourselves a little place to have a brekkie there and then explore the town a bit. There's just so much desert adventure to be had here. Here you can see some camels and some quad bikes that are about to go out on a tour with some guys. There's just such a lot of tourism going on in these towns, and purely because of the desert. I think I've just found the name for the GS. After seeing those camels, I'm inspired. I think we'll call the GS the Desert Camel. Now, not because it's been riding desert, but the Desert Camel happens to be an animal that can travel across the desert, vast areas, without food, water. And I tell you, that's what the GS has done on this trip. Trev's had to fill up, so just about every time we see a filling station. I've filled up every second time. This thing is like a camel, the Desert Camel. It's got a tank that lasts it miles and miles of touring. I brought my fuel bladder with me, said I would use it now that I'm going towards the south of Namibia. But man, I don't think it's going to be necessary at all. I could have left it behind. This Desert Camel just keeps going for miles and miles without a thirst and without needing a fill up. It's incredible. So that's it. The GS is now the Desert Camel. Just had a lekker spur breakfast, so we're on our way down to local museum. I've quite fancy museums, so let's go and check out a little bit of history on Swakopmund. We've arrived here at the museum. We're going to go and see what's potting and just find out a bit of history on the area, the local area. So this is one of my happy places, also just a museum. Check out some of the old stuff and just really getting to know some of the history of the towns as well. Yeah, love museums. I've got one of these old gramophones. There's more my style now. A couple of dinky toys. Nice grand collection of those, yeah. They've got a slightly bigger collection than I've got at home in the toy room. Those are awesome, I dig them. I'm not a good reader, so you're not going to find out what most of these things are. Just have a look at them and enjoy them. A little bit of history on the early doctors and medicine and how it was done in those days. We're looking back as far as the 1920s for some of the equipment here. It was used in hospitals and doctors' rooms. Lovely old landy, look at that. 1953 model. This would be a Series 1 Land Rover, if I'm not mistaken. I should read the info. Yep, Series 1. Now, this is something that I really fancy as an ox wagon. I had some opportunity at one stage to acquire an ox wagon from one of my clients actually, and I was a bit slow on the uptaking and she got rid of it before I could get there. I had a bit of transport problems to get it up to my place. It was in a little place called Port Alfred, and transport for me, I just couldn't get there in time to take it away in her designated time frame, and she unfortunately gave it to somebody else, so I missed out on that one. But I've always had a fondness for an old ox wagon, even the old horse carriages. I fancy those. You can just imagine what it must have been like to travel in the day with one of these. It must have been a hard life, but a good life. So I'm now done with my little history lesson of Swakopmund. Some interesting reading and also just some interesting artifacts, and just knowing about where the town came from and where it's at till to date. Let's move it along. Let's go and find some new spots to explore. We found a couple of the locals making some local art over here. What is your name there, sir?
My name is Gustav.
Gustav is going to show us how he manufactures a couple of key rings out of local sourced nuts and I don't know what's this thing called. He's running a street business.
It's no broken. This is a key ring. This is a fruit. The people eat this.
From which tree?
But it's a Makalani tree.
Okay.
Ascania in English. But the people eat this, but I use only the nut, that the nut is inside.
So you don't drink the juice of it?
The juice?
Yeah. No juice inside?
No juice inside. It's a nut.
Okay.
And when I take it out, then you look like this one. And we are scratching, clean it with the scissor. Like that. We are cleaning with the scissor, and I'm drawing with the pen, cut with the small knife. You see this small knife?
A homemade one?
Number 10 blades from Aptek.
Okay.
He has a doctor knife. Yeah, he used it.
So you are a doctor of arts?
Yeah, doctor of the artist.
Yeah.
Then when I finish to clean, I put the kudu letter. I take the kudu letter, put in the key ring, and we are drawing like this with the pen. We are drawing like this with the pen and cut out with this knife. Meneer kan bietjie nader bring dat jy kan mooi vang. Dan kyk die mense hoe kat ek die ding uit. Hoe kerf ek hom uit. Dat die olie van uitkom. So moet ek laat kerf. And when I make business with this, I help the children to school bread and everything.
Well, thank you for that art lesson. I appreciate it. Gustav, good to meet you.
Yeah.
Right, so we got a good art lesson from Gustav there in Swakopmund. He's situated in the museum area. So if you're in the area, come and support him. What a cool oak. We are done with our exploring of Swakopmund today. What a fantastic spot this is. People are friendly. The weather has been a bit iffy today, a bit overcast. Almost looks like it's going to rain, but it's been lovely. So we're going to head off to our accommodation now, book in and go and chillax for the afternoon, have a bit of a bra and some fellowship. So that'll be it for today, guys. We'll chat again in the next video. Cheers.